welcome to another limited budget challenge video. This one's going to be a tight one. This one's been mentioned a few times in the comment section, so I thought I'm just going to give it a bash. I'm going to try and live off a maximum of £1 per day for a week. It's going to be tight money wise. I'm predicting we're going to have the same food every day, but I'm going to give it a go. So maximum £7 for 7 days with anything I can scavenge or forage. Absolutely nothing else coming from the cupboards. Right, I'm going to go to Lidl's. We're going to have a look round, see what I can pick up. Right, we're back from Lidl's, and this is a first for one of these challenges on the channel. I've hit £7 on the nose, so I gave myself a maximum budget of £1 per day for 7 days. I've gone in, I picked up what I can, and it came in at exactly £7. I'll show you the receipt once I've showed you what we picked up. First item we picked up was 7 bananas. That's 1 banana a day. That's a really good start to the challenge. Picked up a simply Lidl's porridge oats. So we've got a kilogram of oats. Mixed vegetables, so a kilogram of mixed vegetables. I told you it's not going to be fancy, this one. It's going to be some real basics and trying to get as much, maximise the ingredients we can for £1 a day. And then we've got a kilogram, 1 kilogram of white rice. I picked up 1 can of the red kidney beans. The value protein wise, so this is 7.7 grams of protein for 100 grams. I looked at the tin of chickpeas around the same price, and for 120 grams was about 8 grams, something like that. So there wasn't really much in it, and I thought rice and beans all day long. I wanted to try and get as much fresh in as possible. So I picked up the fun-sized British apples. So got 6, so at least an apple a day. Maybe split one down to make them last for 7. Some more protein. So you got porridge has got protein in it. And then I picked up some crunchy peanut butter. Not much I could do really on the protein front, but this is 96% roasted peanuts. A tin of sardines in tomato sauce, again more protein, some omega-3s. 1 loaf of wholemeal sliced bread. So that gives us, I think there's 22 slices in there. So that gives us 3 slices of bread a day. That's, look, I did look at wholemeal flour, I did look at standard flour, I did look at options to making bread, but the cheapest load of flour, you're talking about £1, plus I need to add egg or I'm not using anything from the cupboard, so yeast or something like that. It just, on this budget, this amount of money, it just made sense just to get a loaf of bread. I can have peanut butter sandwich every day if I wanted to. I could have a banana sandwich. I could have peanut butter on toast. I can have banana on toast. I can have sardines on toast. I can have sliced apple. There's so many options with the bread. It's just a convenient, easy use of the money. And then the final one, we looked at savoury seasoning. I looked at some veggie stock, some chicken flavouring powder. There wasn't a lot I could find. And I was just looking, thinking, right, I can use flavouring sachets. So I've got hot sauces, I've got some ketchup, mayo, stuff like that from fast food outlets. And then this just fitted in perfectly. 39p right at the end, bang. Took me bang on target, £7. It's a chili con carne seasoned mix. I'm wondering if I can get away with doing a spoonful of this with every rice dish. It's got tomato powder, onion powder, ground spices, paprika, cumin, black pepper, chili powder, cayenne pepper, salt, sugar, dried oregano, ground oregano, whey protein, milk, sea salt, dried egg. I'm just thinking, like, based on the fact that I've restricted myself from using my spice and herb rack, which I absolutely love using pretty much every time I cook, this has got a big old mix up in here. Let me know in the comments if you think this is a good idea, or you think there was another option I should have looked at, because I'm always trying to refine my challenges. But let's see if I can incorporate that with every rice dish. Yes, everything's going to be very repetitive this week. That's what I managed to pick up. Let me get the receipt and show you guys. And there's your receipt. So there's your medium whole loaf, 49p. Your rice, 52p. Sardines in tomato sauce, 47p. Fun size bananas, 88p. I could have bought 5 for less, but then I wouldn't have one a day. Porridge oats at 99p. The casserole mix, so it's classed as casserole mix, but it's chili con carne or casserole for, I think it's sausage casserole, chili and one other, but 39p for the mix. Fun size apples in at 69p. The crunchy peanut butter, most expensive purchase, £1.09. The frozen mixed vegetables, 99p, and the red kidney beans, 49p. There you go, look, £7 on the nose. Right, I'm going to go through and see what stuff I've got scavenged and salvaged. Really not the season for foraging, but I'm going to look at some greens, some stinging nettles, some dandelions. I've not really got many other options. Let's have a look at what there is, see what we can use to add a little bit of greenery to it, and let's see if I can mix this up, at least make a few different meals over the next 7 days. Day 1 of the £1 a day challenge, and I figured probably best option would be to measure out how much allocation of porridge we're going to get each day. Approximately 140 grams of the porridge oats. So I measured it into a bowl, and then I'm going to kind of work out. Then I'm going to add some water. We don't have milk as an option, but I have water with my porridge anyway. Leave that for a minute. Just going through my little stash of free stuff which I've managed to get along the way. I think what I'm going to do is add a couple of sugars just to sweeten this up a little bit. It's a big bowl of porridge, but it has got to get me going on the start of the day. And at lunchtime I'm looking at just having a peanut butter sandwich and a banana. I'm going to get this down me, and then I'll see you at lunchtime. Just sorting out lunch for the first day on this £1 a day challenge, and I'm trying to make, with the limited ingredients, and it truly is limited this time round on this challenge, I'm trying to make it so that I have a slight amount of variety just by the way I prepare things. I'm off for 2 days over the weekend at the start of the challenge. When I'm at work I don't have access to a toaster, so it's going to be peanut butter sandwiches. Today obviously I've got the toaster, so I've toasted 2 slices of the 3 bits of bread allowance, and then to ration out the peanut butter across the 7 days I've kind of made a marker down the side so I can take an amount out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days worth of peanut butter going down per day, just so I don't get overexcited and use up too much peanut butter on day 1. And then I've got the banana, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to have banana and peanut butter on toast. So there you go, there's lunch on day 1. Banana, peanut butter, toast times 2. So far we've had the porridge with a little bit of sugar to sweeten it, and now we've got some protein from the peanut butter, banana for a little bit of fresh fruit on the wholemeal bread. See you in a bit. So I've used a fair portion of the rice for the week, and I've cooked it all down. Now I am going to try and add a little bit of variety to the week as much as possible. So I'm going to take some rice out of this. I've done 2 day's servings just to make life a little bit simpler for me. But that's going to be for, this is going to be for breakfast tomorrow. I'm going to try and make a rice pudding with the, well, I know I can do it because I've done it before, with the milk sachets from McDonald's, which I scavenged, and then I'm going to try and do the same with some sugar. And then I've got the rice ready for dinner. So what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3. So I'm thinking about that much. I'm just going to sprinkle it over the rice while it's still hot. I've got to be careful I don't use too much. Well, I am actually going to use some tomatoes in one of them, so I'm going to give myself a little bit more. See how we get on with that. Precious ingredient, this one. It's the only bit of flavouring we've really got other than the sauce for the sardines. Well, we have got peanut butter as well, but so I'm going to mix that in. Oh, it smells good. It actually smells really savoury. Going to give ourselves about that much of the can of red kidney beans, and that gives us another 2 days, and then another 2 days. And we've got, like I said, we've got the sardines to work with as well. That's going to have to go in the tub in the fridge in a bit. Again, they're just going to work that through, portion out 2 days worth. So we've got rice and kidney beans there. Scoop there. A little bit extra on for today. So out of the rice, I've got the portioned off rice ready for tomorrow's breakfast, just so we're not having porridge every day. And then I've got lunch for tomorrow, which makes life simpler. And then I've got dinner for tomorrow, which makes life simpler. And I've got dinner for tonight. Let's give it a taste test and see what it's like. On a budget, it's not going to be exciting, but at least it's going to have some flavour to it. Let's just try it. It's not the world's greatest cuisine, but it's definitely got a little bit of flavour to it. And the kidney beans are quite nice in the rice. Actually, I just realised I got some sauce from a Taco Bell, so I'm actually going to add that to it today. This is a mild one, so it's going to be tangy. Oh yeah, that makes all the difference. Okay, so might just have to experiment with all my little different sachets from scavenging. Yeah, I've got some curry sauce and barbecue from McDonald's and some mayo and ketchup. But that worked. That's day 1 done. So day 2 tomorrow we're going to have the rice pudding just to mix it up. So I don't think I've actually got enough milk to cook down and make a rice porridge. So I might just chuck these in with a bit of sugar, because you can have rice pudding cold anyway. So I think we might just try that this morning. Doesn't help that I got half of it down the side. Never mind. Right, anyway, there's the milk in there. Just give that a mix around. Let's give it a try. Not too bad. It's kind of milky, slightly sweet by the sugar, and it is a second kind of breakfast. We've had 2 different breakfasts so far. Then lunchtime, I mean yesterday we had peanut butter on toast. I'm thinking I might do the same, but I can have an apple as well, so thinking I could have an apple in the rice, can I? Got to start thinking these things through. I might save a banana. Sorry, I was just staring at the cupboard. I'm going to have, later on I'm going to have some toast with apple and peanut butter on it. I think that'll do. And then I can make lunch tomorrow. And I've got, yeah, stop waffling. I don't know what I'm doing today. Nothing too exciting about lunch today. Slightly mixed that up today for lunch. Going to do some apple pieces on toast with peanut butter. Fruit and peanut butter go well anyway, so why not mix it up as much as possible and use the toaster while I'm off. Back to work tomorrow, so things are going to be a little bit different. But yeah, I'm going to save them, and I'm actually really hungry. That rice was filling, but I've actually decided I'm really hungry for lunch, so I am going to have the banana as well. Let's give this a little try. I actually prefer that to the banana on the banana. In fact, tomorrow's lunch I'm going to stick an apple in my sandwich with my peanut butter. That's how much I enjoyed that. Nice crunch, nice sweetness combined with the salty peanut butter. That'll do for lunch. That's not too bad. Look, we are keeping it healthy. I mean, for £1 a day we could just be eating ramen, and I know how many people on my channel despise ramen for its unhealthiness, and yeah, so we are trying our best, aren't we? But dinner tonight is going to be the same as yesterday, pre-prepped. It's going to be the rice and beans, a big old plate of rice and beans, keep me fill up, and I'm just going to add into the mix some barbecue dip. Get every last piece out of that barbecue sauce. But this is just going to mix it up a little bit, little bits of different flavour with each plate of rice pretty much. See what this compares to the mild hot sauce from Taco Bell. Okay, that wins so far. That's a smoky flavour. Smoky, sweet barbecue flavour. Really does make that a more enjoyable experience. That's day 2 done. So back to work tomorrow, and I'm thinking I'm going to have something different for tea. So I've got my little cupboard of stuff in here. Going to use some up of this. I'm going to use some of this up for tea tomorrow with the rice, I think. And we'll be back on the porridge for breakfast. Anyway, I'll see you in the morning. For breakfast today we've got the porridge. Today's ration of porridge with one of our bananas. And then for lunch, 2 rounds of peanut butter with apple sandwiches. I've had an extra slice of bread today because we haven't used the allocation of 3 pieces for the last 2 days because I've been at home. So being a busy day on a Monday at work, a long day, I've got 2 rounds of sandwiches to see me through. Also, being an absolute wombat, I forgot for the last 2 days that I had an allocation of frozen veg. Mixed bag of frozen veg, which I mentioned at the beginning of the challenge, and for the last 2 days I've just left in the freezer. Now, I went into the freezer to get something out for the kids yesterday, realised what I'd done wrong. So tonight, when you join me for more exciting rice for dinner, we'll have an extra helping of vegetables because I've got 2 days worth which I haven't used up. Absolute wally. But see you later. I didn't forget the vegetables this time round. So for day 3 dinner, get carrots, sweet corn, peas and green beans. I've got a portion of rice. I also cooked enough rice and veg for tomorrow just to make my life easier. So that's in a bowl. And we're going to have some of the sardines. So that's the sardines in the tin. So I thought I was only going to get 3 sardines out of that, but I've got 2 sardines there. And I've got 2 left over. I mashed one up a bit. Not a lot of sauce in these cheaper versions of the sardines. But I've got 2 sardines to go with it and some seasoning. I've got some pepper, again scavenged pepper, and some salt. So just going to season up the rice. Let's give it a little taste test. Just mix some of that salt and pepper in. Just do salt and pepper with the veg first. Really good. And the fish with the rice and veg. Absolutely delicious. That's a big old plate. I am absolutely knackered. This isn't related to the video whatsoever, but for the first time in probably about 8-9 years I've started going out running again. Running with my son in the evenings. Well, I say running, I'm more like I'm shambling along, wheezing and puffing, but I'm having a go just to try and get my fitness up a bit. And yeah, this is, after a run, this is absolutely stunning. So in my attempts to mix it up a bit each day, I was thinking, what can I do slightly different? So we can have some peanut butter in the porridge today. And then I'm going to use 2 mayo sachets with banana because I've heard that mayo and banana goes well together. So I'm going to give that a go with the thick end of the bread. So let's try that with an apple for lunch. Let's give that a go. It gives it some much needed flavour. Peanut butter's really good with porridge, so yeah, delicious. At least we're not having the same thing, sugar, but porridge with sugar, porridge with sugar. We're just trying to be a little bit creative with what we've got. Let's do the banana and that ready for lunch. Mash that in with a fork. So I'll get back to you at lunchtime and we'll give this a taste test. I'm not 100% sure on it, but it's worth having an experiment. So I'm sat at work, I'm about to have my lunch. I thought I'd give a little taste review because I've not tried mayonnaise with banana. One thing I will say is where I've left it till lunchtime after mashing the banana, it's really not the most appetizing of looking. But hey, look, could be all in the taste. That genuinely works. It's actually a really tasty combination I have seen it done before by someone, and yeah, I've always thought, oh, maybe I'll give it a try one day, and this is the perfect excuse to do it. Mayonnaise with mashed banana is a definite combination. I'd actually say it'd go even better on toast, but I'll try that another time. That's lunch tonight. I'm going to get home. We're going to have the pre-made rice, veg and sardines, but I'm also going to try and make some stinging nettle and oat bakes. We'll have a go and we'll see what we can do with that. I've picked some stinging nettles. I've gone primarily for the tips, like the newer shoots, and I've just ran them under the tap, and I'm wearing a glove to avoid being stung. And then what I'm going to do is I'm boiling the kettle, and I'm just going to blanch them to remove the sting. Just making sure you get all of the nettles. I've got some of the oats. I've added a little bit of water, and then I'm just going to chuck in the spinach. I have no idea if this is going to spinach. I'll chuck in the sting nettles. I have no idea if this is going to work. Maybe we need a bit of butter. Thinking I might add an apple as well. I'll stick it on the tray and then see how it bakes. But I've added an apple. It's what they look like before they go into the oven. I'm experimenting with the stinging nettles, oats and apple. I'm having my dinner, which is the leftover two left sardines, rice with veg, and I'm just going to add a little bit of sweet curry. And that's us pretty much done for the day 4. Get back to you though and show you what the oats come out like. Right, so they've been in the oven for about 15-20 minutes. They're cooked through. I've tried it, and my son Shire's going to try it. This stinging nettle, apple and porridge bake. What do you think?
Bit plain.
Bit plain, but nice enough. Would you eat them if you needed to?
Of course.
Yeah, do you think they could do a bit of butter and maybe a bit of sugar or sweetening or something?
Yeah. Anything just to boost the flavour.
But they're nice enough though.
I'd eat it.
Yeah, okay, thank you, young man. Curry Shire, they are a bit plain, but they are something different, and it gets some stinging nettles in me. It's another way of using up the porridge oats. It was a little bit of a risk because I risked a portion of the porridge, but I also risked tomorrow's apple in order to make them. I'm really happy with the way they've turned out, considering it's just the 3 ingredients. And stinging nettles are super good for you, and they're completely free, and it's just added 1 extra ingredient to the week. And it's super simple on day 5 because I woke up a bit late, so we've just got the porridge with some water in it. Just plain porridge, don't bother me, I just want to eat something. And 2 lots of peanut butter sandwiches, and 1 of the bananas, just to get us through the day. Oh, and I forgot a couple of our spinach, a couple of our stinging nettle, oat and apple bakes. Right, so I've cooked up the last of the rice because I just felt like I might as well make my last 3 evening meals as easy as possible. We've got no sardines left, so we're just going to put in the rest of the flavouring, mix it in, and we'll add the rest of the beans. So there's our beans with rice and the chili con carne mix. So I've cooked up the last of the veg here. That's from day 6 and 7, but I've kept some back, and now you can eat vegetables raw, you don't have to cook them. So I defrosted another section of the rice, the veg, and I'm going to try and make like a little mix up. So we're going to add some mayonnaise and some hot sauce. So that'll do. So this is probably going to be the easiest last 3 days of a challenge I do, because I'm just going to be able to reheat the beans and rice with the veg. I'm going to put 3 lots of mayonnaise in for the meal tonight though. There's no reason why this wouldn't work. And then I've got some fiery hot sauce Taco Bell sachets. Let's give this a try. That's actually very tasty. I think we just plate up. That'll probably be enough. And then the spicy bean mayo mix. Loads of veg to fill me up. And I think I'll give this a taste review. I think we'll taste it all together, because we know what the chili mix tastes like anyway. That really works. That is really tasty. There you go, there's another little way of just tweaking this menu just to make it a little less monotonous. So day 6, and we've got peanut butter sandwiches again for lunch. I'm really not bothered about having peanut butter sandwiches every day. They're filling. I love peanut butter anyway, and it just gets you through the shift at work. You take a banana, an apple, and the last 2 of the stinging nettle, apple and oat bakes. Got porridge again this morning. Now this is something I'm getting bored of. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to add the last of the scavenged milk, just to try and give it a little bit more of a milky flavour. A few sugars. Give that a try. Definitely improved it a bit from just being plain porridge. But like I said, I mean, I've got one more day on porridge, and I'm gonna take a break from porridge after this challenge, I think. Dinner is beans and rice in chili flavouring and veg again. It's getting a little bit old now. I know we've added some sweet curry just to give it a bit more flavouring, but that's day 6 done. We're into the last morning of the challenge. We've got pretty much a repeat of 2 peanut butter sandwiches for lunch with the banana and an apple. I could put the apple banana in there. I'm just going to be doing that today. And then the last of the porridge. That was the last of the bread as well. Last apple, last banana, last bread, last of the peanut butter, last of the porridge. I'm going to save you having to watch me taste review the same thing: beans, rice, chili flavouring and veg. But this is my last meal of the week, and I am glad to have got to the end of it, I'll be honest with you. So the main conclusions for this week for me personally is going to be the fact that yes, it's doable. Yes, you can live off £1. So in a situation where it's completely necessary and you're on a very tight restricted budget, you could live off of £1 per day. It's not fun in the sense that it's very limited on the diversity of the meals. We did do our best with it. I mean, I did mix it up as much as possible, but I think towards the end of the week I was just like, it's food, isn't it? So it was, and I think that was obvious, and I think that was noticeable in the video itself, because I would just be like, I'm just going to have peanut butter sandwich, I'm just going to eat my fruit, I'm just going to have porridge. Standout things for me though, I was quite happy with that nettle and apple bake. It did mix it up a little bit. I felt good for getting some stinging nettles in me, because they are such a superfood, and it's free foraging. I think we did better off of that than we would have done with an individual spice or herb. I particularly want to eat beans and rice again for a while, till maybe the next challenge where I'm on a very restricted budget. But it was fun and enjoyable, and it was a good challenge, a good test of seeing how low we can take it. I don't have anything left, so that's the first time I've done a challenge. I've got nothing left. I used all the porridge, kilogram of porridge. I used the kilogram of frozen veg. I used all of the rice. Everything was eaten, so that's a good thing. There was no leftovers on that. Next challenge is going to be a yellow sticker challenge. So someone mentioned this in the comments, and I thought this is a really fun idea as a little short challenge before I go away with work, because I'm away for a week. So next weekend on the Friday night we're going to go to Lidls, and I'm not going to give myself a specific budget, but I can only buy reduced items. So I'll think this week about it, but I might restrict how many items, because I could just buy loads, can I, if there is, or there might not be any. But I think we might do like 7 items or 8 items, 8 reduced items for the weekend with no cost budget, but just a restraint on how many items. So that should be a bit of fun. And then I'm away for a week, and then I'm going to do another thing which is mentioned in the comments, which is brilliant, and it's really got me thinking. So the last few challenges I've done previous to this one, I always have leftover rice, lentils and stuff like that. So we're going to do a rolling week challenge. First week, I'm going to give myself, I'm thinking £2 a day. So we're going with £2 a day. So that's your 14, that'll be £14 for the first week. And then anything left over at the end of that week will roll over into the following week, which should free up some money for some more exciting different items. For example, if we have rice or lentils left over, then we don't need to buy rice and lentils for the next week. And I'm going to do that for 4 weeks on the trot. So it will be uploaded every Tuesday, but it will just be every week you'll have, you know, episode 1 week 1, episode 2 week 2. And I'm hoping by the end of it I might have enough money to buy like the last week. This might not happen, but let's go for it anyway. By the end of it, the last week, the 4th week, I'm really hoping that I can get a whole chicken and then do as many meals as I can out of a whole chicken by the end of the week, or just something a little bit cheeky, something a little bit special, because we save some money by rolling everything over. That's the plan anyway. I'm going to stop waffling because that's a really bad habit of me on the channel. And I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the challenge. Do you think that the pound was too restrictive? Do you think I made some mistakes with some of the items? Or is there anything I could have done different with the stuff I bought just to mix it up even more than I tried to? Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll hopefully see you in a future video. Bye bye.